geometry is real and real things work in real life. So if I'm supposed to rotate this 90 degrees, can I just do this? Isn't that what the final shape's supposed to look like? Because I rotated the paper 90 degrees, right? So that's a kind of a cheat or a help, or it's a real thing. You still have to do the work, but you can kind of do this and then figure out what the points are and then draw them down here. Okay? So just know that that's a real thing. All right, we'll go back to checking this, and I'll work one out if I need to. Of course, you can use your formulas, right? Okay, and I will put those up again on a couple other questions just to kind of show you how those work. All right, let's look at 2. Of course, I don't think anybody on the video can see this, but of course, don't put the parentheses. It's supposed to be those little, I'll show you. All right, that's translation. That's what it should look like. Pre-image, image. Reflection across x equals 2. The mirror for x equals 2 is right here. It's vertical. Right? Rotation. Again, on the rotation, this is a real thing. Okay? It starts like that. If I want to rotate it, I got a trick on this. I can just go bam. Right? Is that our shape? There it is. Okay. Let's see if I can magically do it again. See how I'm rotating it? Or is that mirror image? I think that's mirror image.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So the rotation would be like this. So be careful on that. It's not mirror image, it's rotation. Okay? Now we could do the math. 180 degrees, I believe 180 degrees is like this. AB is going to end up being negative A, negative B, right? That's our formula. And so I can just take B. B is negative 1, negative 1. This is what B is. So that would mean that B prime is 1, 1. So B prime would be 1, 1 right here. Okay, C, that should be easy. That's 0, negative 1. That means C prime would be 0, positive 1 right here. Okay? So that's another way to do it. If you can't see it, you can do it like that. This is probably the easiest way. It takes a little bit longer, sure, but probably the easy way to do it. All right, let's finish checking. There's 5. Reflection, y-axis. I like it. Looks good. And the 6. Okay, if I need to go back over one of these, I can. The back side is what I think is the hard part. And so I'm going to go over each and every one of these on the camera so we can look at the stuff and things. All right, need to get rid of that. I need this back. Okay, great. I don't think this is a translation because it doesn't look like they took the same shape and just slid it over. It looks like it got flipped over or rotated or something. Okay? If you can't tell what it is, you can try something out. Okay? You can try out one of these, like if you think it's a rotation, you can try out one of these formulas. If you think it's and I don't think it's a rotation, it just doesn't make any sense to me because see how W and W are on the same place? All of our rotations are been where? Around this axis, right? So it can't be a rotation if the W and W is the same place. So it has to be a reflection. And since W and W are touching, I think the mirror's right here.
So is that the y equals x?
That is the y equals x, and this is how I can prove to myself if I'm unsure how it's going to work. I can use this formula's right here. Where is it? Right here at the bottom. If it is y equals x, that means I just switch the order of the things of x and y. So let's look at that. I'm going to do that. So let's look at x. X is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not how it works. 1, 2, 3, 4. And up 1. So according to this, x prime would be just switch the order. So just do this. Let's see if that's true. 1, and then up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did it work? Okay, so I don't necessarily have to do every single letter. I can, but this kind of shows that it is this, and that's what the mirror is. This is an open cheat sheet test, which means you can write any information you think is helpful to you. Okay, let's look at this next one, 8. What do we think? What do we think it looks like? So it kind of looks to me like, it doesn't look like a mirror image at all to me. So it kind of looks like it went from here to here. So I'm going to cover this up and I'm going to just test it out. Is that what that second shape looked like? Yeah? And again, we can test that out. I think it's a rotation. We can test that out. And here's how I know what it's going to be. If the shape's up here, and now the shape's here, it's going to be 90 degrees. If the shape's up here, and now the shape's over here, it's 180, 270, right? So I think it's 90 degrees. Let's test it. Let's check it, because I don't want to be wrong on a test with 12 questions. Unfortunately, a test with 12 questions means each question is worth 4 points. So 90 degrees is this formula right here. AB is going to be negative B, A. So I switch the order and I change the sign of just the first one. Okay, so let's look at this. I'm going to take this point. How about this point, I? Sure, I looks good. That is a negative 1, 1, 2, 3. So I is negative 1, 3. I prime, according to this, would be change the order. And we can't see what I'm doing. Change the order. So that would be 3, negative 1. And then I'm supposed to take this one and make it opposite. So negative. Let's graph that point. Negative 1. No, I'm sorry, negative 3, right? 1, 2, 3. Down 1. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
That's a way to kind of prove that that is 90-degree angle. But seriously, you can do this, or you can just like, okay, look at that. Okay, and just you can turn it. That's a rotation. How about 9? What do we think? If it were a mirror image, you know, both these pointy bits would be the same direction, right? If it's a translation, I'd be sliding the shape without rotating it. So it's got to be a, okay, so I look at B. B is in this quadrant, and now it's in this quadrant. So it went over 1, so that's 90 degrees. 2, that's 180 degrees. Let's test it out. C, 90 degrees, 180. E, 90, 180. You can also test it out with the formula again. Okay, question so far. Is this making some sense? Can you use the formulas on every single one if you need to?
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't see it, do it. All right? What do we think on 10? It looks like reflection to me, maybe. Sometimes this is how I tell if it's reflection. I look at that and go, okay, does that look the same? Okay. Another way to tell, I think this is the mirror. One away, one away. Two away, two away. Four away, four away. So that mirror would be, okay. And this is a reflection. And so to actually answer this, because I hadn't been going over how to answer it, and we should have time for me to go over how to actually answer it. But this would be a reflection 180 degrees, right? So make sure you do put reflection and not just 180. I know what you're talking about, but somebody else might not. They might go 180 what? Okay, so make sure you put reflection. Okay, let's see here. The bottom two, were they very hard? 11 is kind of confusing. Well, we're going to unconfuse you. And for some reason, I can't get to the section I want to in my notes, which is the interesting style of how we're doing our notes. I have to take as many notes as you do. That's not fair. I shouldn't have to take notes. I already got my degree. But, oh well, I guess that's life. Okay, remember, this is the pre-image, and this is the image because of the X prime. So this basically did this thing here. It went down and to the left, right? Let's see how many down. 1, 2. How many left? 1, 2, 3. So I think it's a translation, and I think we go 3 and 2, because this is the left-right number, this is the down number. Now, since I went left, I put a negative. Since I went down, I put a negative. Does that make any sense at all? Okay, last one. This is my original image, my pre-image. This is my new image, or my image. And it looks to me like I just go straight down here. Okay? If you go straight down and there's no left and right, that means the left-right component is 0. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to recount 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that should be the answer, but it's negative. Make sure you don't lose points on counting wrong, because you guys are honors, which means you're going to spend the time on the hard stuff, but you're going to skip time on the easy stuff, right? So I know you all can count, so be careful. Because it's really easy to just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and just get lost in your head. Okay? Before I put up time, do I have any questions, any problems I need to go over on this test? Okay, I hear too much noise, so stop what you're doing. I need to see everybody. Do I have any questions? Okay, then we're done.